Hi, this is Katie Shell. I'm an intuitive healer and spiritual counselor. I work with several modalities, including astrology, aromatherapy, and embodied movement. This is an aromatherapy video, and it's specifically geared towards empaths and people who take on and witness and feel other people's energy all of the time. And it can be such a powerful tool for us to understand people, to kind of navigate our way through the world because we understand things even if the person in front of us isn't able to communicate them. But what happens is we often end up being overwhelmed by everyone else's energy, um, and end up trying to tune it out. You have a lot of people who have empathic abilities, whether or not they recognize it, end up tuning into various forms of escapism, or just kind of removing themselves from society in general. Now, I am a self proclaimed unapologetic introvert. I live in my little tower, isolated from people most of the time, but I'm not afraid to be around people. It's just that that is what I need to take care of myself. That is what I need to nourish myself. But I'm not afraid of being around people. I'm not, um, it's not the thing that feeds me. The thing that feeds me is quiet time and one on one time with people I really care about. That's huge for me. Um, and but it's important for us to learn how to be able to function, how us to be able to take on and experience humans, um, and other beings. Because as empaths, it's not only humans; it's not only the humans that are in front of us. It's other dimensional beings. It's our ancestors. It's people who have passed. I get a lot of people who have little um, friends and family kind of poking at them, and they're just like, enough. We can tell them to go away too. And so what is important, so again, these are going to be some aromatherapy tools in particular that can support you in grounding, because what we need to do is understand the difference between what is ours and what is somebody else's. And other people are often going to be a reflection of something that we need to see in ourselves. And so the questions that I always present to myself, present to my client is this true? Is this mine? And we can do that. We can get into that frequency, and understanding what is really ours to work on, and off by shedding the layers of the expectations of ourselves and of others and how we think we're supposed to be in the world, because we have been conditioned by so many to be able to help, or we have been quieted so many times when we are experiencing emotions that, again, whether or not they're ours or they're residuals of someone else, they move things, and we want to be able to be present in the moment. So the first oil that I recommend working with is something that is grounding and protective. You want to put it on your feet so you can feel connected to the earth, because ideally you experience the energy and you allow it to move through you. Now you can put up kind of walls and bubbles and things like that to keep anything from coming in, but oftentimes things can just, you can be conduit and allow things to move through you. Either way, you want to tune into your guides. You want to tune into your ancestors. You want to tune into your angels and all the protective spirits out there that can guide you and support you and know that they're there for you. And so the first thing we want to do is feel grounded every single day and protect it, because the same oils that we can work with for grounding are the ones that we use for protection and removing things that aren't ours. So the first one I want to address with this is vetiver. Vetiver keeps us from eroding pieces of ourselves. So, and it has these deep, deep, deep roots that go into the ground, and that's why it prevents erosion on islands, is because it holds on to the soil and it pulls up the nourishment from the deep recesses of the earth, like 6 feet and stuff, and come into these grasses. So they help us feel really supported, really protected and really connected with the earth. So when we're experiencing stuff, we just breathe through it and we breathe it out. We breathe it and we exhale it into the world, into the ground. The other one I really like for this is black spruce. Black spruce is a very mothering energy. It's very supportive. It's also very grounded. As a tree, it helps us to remember to breathe. So that's why I like the Bruce spruce. It's not the roots like the vetiver, but it's very grounded. Anything that's black is going to be grounded. Anything that's ground is going to be protective of us and keep things that aren't ours and don't belong to us away from us. And so, and then again, it's a spruce, so it's a tree, it's a conifer tree. So any of those pine, spruces, firs are going to help us breathe. So we put it on our chest and we breathe it in and we exhale down. And so another pine, another member of the conifer family that I really like working with, again, for empaths, um, and for people, especially for people who do energy work. So this means when I say you're doing energy work, whether again you do it professionally or just have done it, it's important to be really trained, to be really tuned in, and not to try to move energy if you aren't fully grounded and fully aware of what you're doing, because it can have pretty negative repercussions if you try to take on somebody's energy that you're not ready for and you're not prepared for. I have experienced this. I have seen people experience this, and it just you think you can handle it, and eventually you can. And when we move things, it supports us and helps us get better and stronger and a greater ability to do it. But we want to be really crystal clear. And so using again with that word crystal clear, the thing I like to use is white pine. And a lot of energy workers that I like, if Reiki or other energy work, physical energy work that people do, is white pine. And white pine, anything white is very clearing, it's very cleansing. So it cleanses the aura and it creates this kind of protective light bubble around you that allows things to move through you instead of getting stuck in you. So it's good to put on the wrists. It's good to put on the knees because again it brings that down because we want to connect. We want to move the whole body. So we put that on the wrists. We put it on the knees, and it creates this protective energy, surrounds us with this clearing white light of understanding, awareness, and tuning into that oneness and this higher awareness, God consciousness, higher power. And then the next one I want to mention is lavender. Lavender is one of the easiest oils, very accessible. I am a teacher and distributor for Wisdom of the Earth. We have like 15 different single source, not blends, single source lavenders, and each lavender connects us with a different energy in a different place. But any sort of, and lavenders are really good because they're about wholeness. They're from the flowering tops of the plant, so they're about wholeness, and so they help us remind us that we are whole, we are safe, and we are whole. And so that is a mantra that I use when working with lavender. So we can put it on our heart. We can clear our field, our aura field with it. We can put it again on the legs. I like pulling things down because we bring things in and we pull it downwards. When we're taking on other people's energy. When I'm doing meditations, I usually work my way up. I usually start with the ground and we move up as we tune into higher frequencies. But when we're kind of interacting with people and things and we're trying to stay clear, we want to, in this case especially, when we want to go top down, when we're working with that moving the energy through. So we move it through, we move it up. Well, actually you can do it either way. So top to bottom, bottom to top. On the heart, we release the burdens from our shoulder. We release our field, the things in our field that don't belong to us. And the more we do this, the more we do this consciously, the more we become aware of the things that are ours. We may become, so we the other thing I like to do with it is put it on the temples, because if we become hyper focused on something that isn't ours, it helps it go away. If it's something that we need to pay attention to, it'll still be there for us to work on. It is not going to go away. It will come back stronger. The things that we need to work on, that we, if we ignore them, they tend to find their way, make their way back into our lives. So putting it on the temples. The other one with this is hoe wood. Hoe wood quiets the mind, so it cuts out the chatter, it cuts out the noise, it cuts out the um, conditioning that we have received that makes us think that we are supposed to be and do certain things. So keeping us protected. So we put on the lavender, we can put on vetiver, we can put on black spruce. All of these are very and then of course the white pine. And then the last one I want to mention is white sage, because white sage will just clear everything out. It just moves I'm going to add two things: white sage and rose together. And roses, these are both higher priced oils. This is why I also recommend working them with them in what's called a hydrolet or a hydrosol, which is the water that comes from the steam distillation of an essential oil. So it's a spray. But the sage will just wipe everything clean. It brings you back to home, it brings you back to center, and it clears everything out. So I will do this. I haven't done this in a long time, but there were stages in my life where I would come every day. I would white sage before I went to bed, because I would want to clear everybody's energy. White pine, again, is another way to do this. White fir is another way to, is another really, furs are very soft, very gentle. So this is, and again, reminding you to breathe, a very nurturing way to connect and to move energy and to clear energy fields. But it's softer than the white sage. That white sage is very intense, but it can be very helpful when you're taking on too many other things. And then going back to the roses, once we clear stuff out, we want to fill it back up, because it creates a void, and so stuff will come into the void if we don't take the time to clear it out. Excuse me, if we don't set an intention to fill it. So rose is the highest vibration essential oil. It is the pure, it is unconditional love. It is pure love. Any flower is going to be really lovely for this. I like Lang Lang a lot for this. It's a more affordable oil, and it's abundant, and it has strength to it, and it has all of the love in it. But with the rose, we can use the spray too. We can drink it. I will pour some in my water. I will drink it. There's a lot of ways to work. Rose hip oil, a lot of ways to work with this. And this is something that I talk about in my Magdalene Touch video, where we work with that a little bit more. But basically, we want to allow that space that is clear to be filled up with unconditional love, unconditional support, which will raise our entire vibration. And as we do that, we're able to be clearer in who we are and not be pulled into everyone else's everything. So I hope this helps. Have a great day.